Atomic Habits by James Clear is a practical and profound call to understand how small changes can create a massive difference in one's life. The book centers on the core idea that transformation doesn't have to be dramatic or immediate. It can be gradual, slow, and initially invisible, yet ultimately leads to astonishing results. Clear compares habits to compound interest. Just as interest accumulates on money over time to generate wealth, habits accumulate on behavior to shape a better life and character. The book begins with a personal story, where the author recounts a severe facial and brain injury he suffered during a high school baseball game. His recovery took years and was filled with physical and emotional challenges. The turning point came when he began to rebuild his life through small changes, organizing his room, going to bed earlier, working out regularly, and gradually improving his academic habits. There wasn't a single transformative moment, but rather a series of consistent improvements that led him to become an elite student and athlete. This experience formed the basis of his philosophy that consistent, incremental changes, what he calls atomic habits, are the key to lasting success. Clear explains that habits are formed through a four-step loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. Based on this loop, he presents his four laws of behavior change: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. When building a new habit, the cue should be made visible and easy to notice, like placing a book on your pillow to remember to read. Making the habit attractive involves pairing it with something enjoyable, such as listening to a favorite podcast while exercising. To make the habit easy, Clear recommends using the 2-minute rule, where the habit is reduced to just 2 minutes a day to lower resistance. Finally, making the habit satisfying through immediate rewards reinforces the behavior. On the flip side, Clear offers techniques to eliminate bad habits by inverting the four laws: make the cue invisible, make it unattractive, make it difficult, and make the reward unsatisfying. One of the book's most powerful insights is that habits are not just actions we repeat, but reflections of our identity. The most effective habits are those built on identity change, not merely goal achievement. Instead of saying, I want to read more, say, I'm a reader. Instead of, I'm trying to quit smoking, say, I'm not a smoker. Every time you perform a habit, you are casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. This approach gradually reshapes how you see yourself, reinforcing your self-image through consistent action. The book also warns that bad habits follow the same compounding nature, only in reverse. Eating unhealthy food today won't ruin your life, but repeating it over months can lead to disease. Procrastinating one evening might not destroy your career, but making it a pattern can derail long-term progress. Habits, whether good or bad, work silently, and their true consequences are only revealed with time. That's why managing them early is crucial. A key philosophical shift in the book is the idea that we should focus less on goals and more on systems. Goals are useful for direction, but systems are what drive actual progress. If your goal is to run a marathon, your system is the daily training plan. Many people chase goals, but once the goal is achieved, they lose motivation and fall back into old patterns. Systems, on the other hand, are sustainable and adaptable. Clear argues that true satisfaction comes not from achieving a goal, but from committing to the process. Falling in love with the routine itself, rather than the outcome, is what produces consistent, long-term success. Clear also extends the concept of atomic habits beyond self-improvement to other areas of life, such as health, relationships, and professional development. In relationships, for instance, simple habits like actively listening or expressing appreciation compound into stronger bonds. In knowledge, reading just 10 minutes a day compounds into massive learning over the years. He shares real-world examples, such as how the British cycling team went from mediocrity to world domination by making dozens of tiny 1% improvements in areas ranging from bike seat design to hand-washing techniques. The book also addresses the plateau of latent potential, the frustrating period where you don't see results despite hard work. He likens it to heating an ice cube from 25 to 31 degrees. Nothing happens, but at 32 degrees, the ice begins to melt. All previous effort wasn't wasted, it was stored. Many people quit during the plateau, thinking change isn't happening, but in reality, breakthroughs come only after sustained consistency. Clear concludes the book by emphasizing that lasting change doesn't come from motivation or willpower alone. It comes from building a lifestyle system that aligns with the identity you want to embody. Success isn't a single event or sudden breakthrough. It's the inevitable result of good habits quietly compounding over time. If you want to change your life, don't start with massive goals. Start small. Start consistently, and let atomic habits reshape your identity and future. In this way, the book transforms from a theoretical guide to a highly actionable roadmap. Change isn't far off or complicated. It always starts with a small step, a tiny habit.